Hey, you guys. Hope you're doing great. Just wanted to check in around a few things. Just wrapped up the weekend workshop, the Kundalini and Samadhi workshop. I'm very happy with how it went and very grateful for everyone that showed up. It was lovely to have you all there. In the beginning, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to get all of that content and all of those practices into 2 days, but we managed it. It all fit really nicely. So I'm super excited to bring it to Mallorca, Earth Yoga, in a few weeks' time, 22nd and 23rd of July. If you would like to come and experience the workshop and learn some new amazing practices that I am certain are going to fulfill you and fill your cup for years to come, then please contact my amazing wife, Emma, on emma@thepracticebali.com. Give her an email, emma@thepracticebali.com, and she will send you the info to register. More info on the website as well if you want to have a look at the details there too. Now, I'm passionate about this workshop for a few reasons, and I feel that I'm going to continue sharing it, teaching it, taking it all over the world because I think it's time relevant, very, very time relevant. And it's time also for a course correction as it relates to what we are doing as yoga studios. And I say this and I make this statement knowing full well that I have been and still in some ways are a part of the problem that needs to be healed, fixed. The problem is, you guys, that the way that we are sharing yoga in our studios these days, for the most part, is completely misaligned to the way that the yogis tell us we need to practice in order to evolve. Patanjali tells us that we need to practice consistently without interruption and with reverence. What he's speaking to is the idea that having all of these different practices every single day, different practice every day, it's not serving us. That is never going to penetrate deeply into the deep, dark layers of our mind to actually do some excavating work and get rid of some of those old programs. To do that, what the masters tell us is that we need to find a practice that is completely resonant with exactly what we need in order to heal the parts of ourselves that have not yet been healed, and then do that practice religiously, devotedly, with reverence, every single day without fail, and for a long period of time. 40 days minimum. That's the minimum amount of days to get fully established in a practice so that the energies and the neurological pathways that the practice specifically creates become ceaseless and self-sustaining. If we are just jumping from practice to practice to practice, which is what we're doing in our studios these days, if we keep doing that, we might have a momentary experience of freedom from our pain and suffering and our stuff that we're working on, but because of the legacy of our old programs, very quickly, they're going to come back to the surface. The next little trigger, the next little thing, boom, they're back. In order to eradicate, or what Patanjali calls cancel out those samskaras, we actually need to do practice in a whole different way. And that's a big part of this workshop, giving you practices that you can take and run with for years. The practices that I'm going to share are actually my practices, and I've been doing them every day devotedly for years, and they have changed my life in ways that I can't even begin to explain to you. And the person that I received them from, they were his practices for 40 years, every day 40 years. So they, trust me, they work. Now, as it relates to our yoga studios, what I see happening is this: a half-half kind of situation, where we have certain classes on the schedule, where we educate people about the different aspects of practice. We help people understand where they are in terms of their own practice evolution and what they need specifically. But then we have other classes on the schedule that are for those people who already know what they need, and they just need to come and do them repeatedly. So I think in order for us to truly honor this tradition, we have to change what we're offering in our yoga studios. We have to educate people. But the reality is, if we just keep having students come back doing different classes every day, every week, No one is getting anywhere. No one is evolving. No one. And that's just the way that it is. That's just how the mind works. Even if it's fun to do that, that's great. But yoga, at the end of the day, is not about fun. Life is about fun. Life should be enjoyable. And how do we do that? We have to move beyond our fears and our doubts and our worries and anxieties and anchor ourselves to the truth of who we are, full of joy, free of fear. But in order to do that, we have to practice correctly. We have to get established in practices that work and then do them devotedly without interruption. So that's why I feel clearly very passionate about sharing these techniques, because this is for you guys who are ready to move beyond drop-in daily classes. Because as fun as that can be, and as educational as that is, hopefully you're going to a yoga studio that is educating you correctly. As good as that is, at a certain point, we must get to the moment where we say, all right, enough. Now it's time to focus on obliterating the things that are keeping me stuck. And to do that, we need to find a practice and do it over and over and over again, and let it bring all of that mind stuff to the surface. Oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh, this is boring. Oh, I want something new. All of that stuff is the stuff that we are trying to process, because that is the stuff that is keeping us distracted and limited in life. It's the same stuff. And to burn it up, you first have to bring it up. And to bring it up, we have to be more systematic in the way, more scientific in the way that we approach practice. Otherwise, nothing is ever going to change. So that's my inspiration, in part, for sharing this workshop. I'm super excited about it. I promise you, these two things, Kundalini and Samadhi, they are within your reach. We just haven't had them defined correctly. We haven't been educated correctly in what they are. Kundalini, you can have it. It's just not what you thought it was. Samadhi, you can have it and you should have it. It's just not what you thought it was. Raja Yoga and the highest frontiers of Hatha Yoga are how you achieve those things and make them living realities in your life, in your practice. But for that, we have to do the work and we have to do it correctly. So if you are ready to move beyond yoga as just being educated and yoga as just being entertained, and you're ready to take practice to the next level and truly evolve your life, come. Find a way, come to Europe, Mallorca, and come. Promise you, these are the practices. I didn't invent them. I'm not an innovator. You guys know that. These are lineage-sanctioned ancient practices that the masters used and continue to use because they work. They're the most effective, most efficient way to achieve exactly what we want in practice and life. Earth Yoga, that's where it's happening, 22nd, 23rd. P.S. I'd love to just give you guys actual non-digital hugs. So if you're in the mood and if you're in the area, come and give us a hug and come and get your teeth sunk into some proper practice. Lots of love.